Greetings and welcome back to Smartwatch Ticks, where we're going to take a deep dive into the fitness functions on the Amazfit Smartwatch 2, also called the Stratos. And before we get started, in case you don't have one yet, our sample came to us from GearBest, and in the show notes below the video, there's a buying link that you can pick one of these up. It helps us when you support our sponsors, because they're the ones that send us these watches for review. So let's get started. If you watch the full review, you have found that we have a whole bunch of information where we've gone through all the different functions that you've got here, compasses and weather and you name it. But we glossed over the whole sports fitness area, basically just saying that you have a variety of sports you can partake in. Well, for this video, I'm going to go into more detail in these segments so you can see what's actually involved. If fitness isn't your thing, then this video is probably not something you're going to want to watch. When I get in here, you see that I picked Run, the very first one. I can go and I could start a session. It's searching for GPS right now. But I also have a running training and settings. If I go into my settings for Run, you can set training targets and alarms. You have a whole bunch of more settings in here too, including guidance, which is on, auto lap feature. You have real-time statistics where you can go in here and change it from heart rate to pace if you want to. Your data screen will show either 6 fields or 4 fields if you want to select which you want, to be able to glance down and see while you're working it. And then there's this whole thing about 3D data that you can turn on and off. That's a whole nother way of displaying data. And you have background color, which can either be black or white, depending on your ambient environment, what you'd like to see. That is in the more settings of running. Then you have a course import, where you can actually bring in the GPS coordinates of a course, apparently, and accessories. Now, when you go into accessories, it's attempting to make a Bluetooth connection to some outside thing. Maybe it's a chest strap to give you your heart rate, or some other piece of equipment. That you need to do research on, whether your particular accessory will interface with the watch. But you have that capability there. That's in the Run section. The Run training is where you go into these different things. TE is what's recommended, and that's a 3.2 kilometer, is it? Anyway, it's a scheduled run that you would do, and you can modify those. And then you can also do interval training here. Now, a lot of you who are into sports know what I'm talking about. Some of you who aren't are just watching. That's okay. We just want to flash it on the screen so you get an idea of the capabilities of this watch. Okay, we're going to go into more training. It shows your most recent 2 at the top, but when you go back to the beginning, you get the whole list. So that was running. Then you have walking, which is going to be similar, but not as aggressive. And you see this thing going around here now. And it gave us the settings to get ready to go. It's got GPS already. Again, I have settings here, but I don't have that other feature. Again, all these features are available in walking as they are in running. The auto lap, your data screen, the 3D data. A few fewer capabilities than what you saw in the running, but nonetheless, you got some good stuff in the walking. Again, you can import the course and hook up accessories. Okay, that was walking, right? Running, walking, and then cycling. And the features in cycling, again, settings is all you have. But we can go in, and now we're starting to repeat ourselves, aren't we? Everything looks basically the same categories. And more settings should be the same as well. All of that's the same as what we saw in walking and running. So we can move through these a little bit faster when we go now into a pool swim. Okay, swimming is totally different. So you can choose the length of the pool right here, or a custom pool. And when you go into custom, you can adjust it in meters or yards. and set your custom pool length. That's what's available in settings for the pool swim. Then you have open water swimming. Here, under settings, we have a training target and more settings. And here we have the real-time statistics, distance units where you can change from meter to yard for your open swim. The data screen, again, this is going to be 6 or 4 fields that you'll have displayed, and the background color. That's on the open water. Now you have an indoor run. When you're doing indoor run, you don't need GPS because you're going to stand in place, right? So it's not going to give that little circle and vibrate that it got your GPS. So it's going to save you on battery. And you can get these settings here. Again, a training target and alerts. The more settings are the lapping, real-time statistics, all of those are the same. And accessories that you could hook up while you're doing your treadmill. Okay, indoor cycling, same kind of thing. Elliptical trainer. Let's see if there's anything different here. Again, no GPS being called for indoor. No, looks like it's basically the same. And climbing. Now, climbing involves altitude. And so we may see, as it's going to get GPS, it's again looking for that, your alerts and more settings where we have the lapping real-time statistics. Now, let's see if we have an option for altitude. Yeah. So you could display either real-time altitude change or heart rate change on your display. The PPG on and off, that's your heart rate that you can activate or deactivate. The data screen again for or 6 fields, and 3D data and the background color. And you can import your course. And of course, hook up accessories. And we just got GPS for the climb came in. Okay, a trail run. Again, settings. Our alerts and more settings where we're going to see if we have. There's the PPG on and off. And the real-time statistics on this, again, are altitude or heart rate. So there's climbing, and that's separate from trail run, but a lot of the data options are the same. A triathlon, and let's see what kind of data they give us as options here. Setting for alerts and more settings and accessories, the 3D data and the background color. Very limited options there because the triathlon's already mapped out, I guess. You have skiing. Skiing functions include, in the settings, getting GPS again. There's the alerts, more settings that give us the real-time statistics of speed or altitude or heart rate. Okay, those are your options for skiing. And of course, the data screen, 3D data, and the background, but you're not importing. Oh, wait, yep, yeah, you are. You can course import down here. And of course, you've got the accessory that you can strap on as well for skiing. Okay, tennis. And, aha, you have to choose which racket hand you're going to be holding, left or right. I'm going to choose right for this example. And please wear it on the arm of your racket. Okay. And is that it? Nope. We go into settings and we have more settings. And in more settings, we have racket hand to change left or right. And alarms are available. In terms of alarms, we haven't really looked at any of these. You can have a heart rate alarm where you set the maximum heart rate for tennis. Some of the other sports, you may have other alarms as well. And after tennis is soccer. So if you're an avid soccer player, I wonder if you got to wear it on the same arm as you kick the ball, huh? Nope, you only have the alerts, and it's probably only the heart rate alert because you don't have a trained course or anything that you're working on. There you go. Okay, now, just for the sake of checking that, I'm going to go back up to run one more time. I'm going to go into settings, And I'm going to go into the alarms here, and we could see that if it takes it. We also have a lap alert alarm that you can turn on or off, the heart rate alarm, a heart rate zone that you can actually set up, turn it on if you want to. And if you do, then you can set the higher and lower levels that you want it to notify you. Or it looks like you pick the zone that you want, cardio or fat burning or warm up, based on the data that you've put in that it knows about you and your height and weight and gender and so forth. Heart rate zone, auto lap alert, and a pace alert. All of these kind of alerts are available for you in the running. So you see a lot of these are shifted depending on the sport that you're working in, but running is probably the most robust. Okay, that's the whole sport area. When you come out of here to the activities, this again lists all of your different activities that you've done. And it'll show you the information on that activity. Also, it'll be transferred over to your app. Now, see these things like training load and such, sports history. There's a really detailed description from the web, I believe, that you get to through the app that goes through a lot of this stuff. And I'm going to take you over there now, okay? I know this isn't for everybody, but it is for somebody. It was for me. It was really interesting to see all of this. Wow, details. Okay, if I press and hold, I should get out of all of this. There we go, back to our time display. When you grab the phone, and you can download the Amazfit watch app without having to connect to anything, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know, but you could try this because I'm all connected. But if you can get into it and it says tips for using hardware keys, you come in here and it's going to give you this 4 pages. We looked at that before, but I'm going to go through them once again that show you the button topology, what happens when you press these buttons. Short presses, long presses. It's sequenced by the length of press for the total buttons as opposed to what you can do with each individual button. That's displayed elsewhere. And you can actually cover it and get it to do things, palming it. But when you hit more tips, it's going to throw you into this section where you have the introduction to basic usage and you have sports. Let's go into sports, because this is really, really detailed. Now, here's how I'm going to do it. I'm just going to page up, and you watching this on YouTube, you can pause and take the time to read what is showing up here on the screen. I'll try to get it in little bites so that you can digest it. Like I said, I think you can get to this from the app. In case you can't, though, I want you to have the opportunity to at least know where you could get it. There's the whole stuff on the AGPS. Pretty cool concept that it pulls its position from your phone for close to GPS if you are Bluetooth to your phone, because you should be within like 30 yards or so. More on how you work the buttons, how you pause the sport, which is important if you want to pause it and resume it, or what happens when you decide to actually end it, and the options to either save your sporting time and information or just toss it in the trash can. That's something you're going to want to definitely learn, because that's what you'll be using when you finish your exercise. Here's some lap function information, and here's that 3D data they talk about. When you enable it, it looks like you're getting an XY chart as opposed to just a X-axis chart. I guess you got to actually see the data in context for that to make sense. Physical indices for the sports. And now we get into this thing called maximum oxygen uptake. You're not finding this on a lot of the other stuff we review here. So, yeah. I'm not going to try to describe it or explain it. I'm just going to let you read it right here on the screen. You have maximum oxygen uptake scores plotted against a colorful graph, and it'll show up at one of the indicator points on your watch. So VO2 max, You see that? Well, this is what it's about. And you can view this in this way or in that 3D graphics, it looks like. Now the training effect, we saw that. Remember, I showed you that briefly. This is what training effect is all about, what its score is, and what the categories are, I guess, or update effects. Interesting. Okay, a 5 is the intensity is overloaded your body. Okay, how to retrieve the score. There's how you get it. Your overall training load. I know, this is way more than you see on reviews on YouTube. I acknowledge that, and I'm doing it on purpose, because if you don't find this, and you look at 100 different reviews and they all cover the same basic stuff and then stop, how are you going to know? So this falls under that somebody's got to do it category, and I just self-nominated myself to be the guy to scroll through this data for you, because you may be seriously considering choosing the rather expensive Amazfit Stratos watch to meet your needs. And if you can determine that your specific detailed needs are met, then that's good. And if it's not, then that's good to know as well. But this is one of the most sophisticated sports fitness watches out there. Definitely competitive against the high-end brands that you see advertised. Okay, full recovery time. Yeah. Do you see all of that? I guess there you go. Okay. And in swimming. Yeah, we're getting into all the separate sports now. It's going to go in those. Length, stroke rate. Wow. The S-Wolf. Okay. Stroke type recognition. So it can automatically recognize those strokes. Okay. Touch screen during swimming. It says do not touch. To prevent accidental tapping and water interface, it's going to automatically deactivate the touch screen. And that's a good thing, because it just goes crazy. It'll flip out on itself if it's not, turned off. So don't think your watch is broken if you're in the water, in the pool, and you can't do anything with it. Dry it off. Dry your hands off, and you should be able to control it again. That's true of all these touchscreen watches. I don't know any of them, even though they claim to be waterproof, that will allow you to get in water and actually control or use the watch. Oftentimes, it's not recommended to press the side buttons while you're swimming either, because that could allow a little bit of water to seep in around those grommets. Okay, that was everything in the sports, and just briefly, the what you need to know to get started kind of thing. Where do you want to wear it above that little bump on your hand? That's the best place for it. Talks about a screen lock interface and all the different scrolling and stuff and the buttons. And here you go. Here's the buttons and how they work by button. The upper button, the upper right button, has got all these different short and long press for 4 seconds, and then long press for 6 or up to 10 seconds to actually turn the power off on the watch. So you don't have to navigate all the way to settings to hit power off. Press and hold it forever, and it'll eventually turn off. That's good to know. The middle button does these things, and the bottom button does those things. The system icons that you see for battery and its conditions. Okay. No disturb mode, the airplane mode, and it's connected with a Bluetooth headset to listen to music if you see that, and it's playing the music if you see that. All those symbols will show up there. And here's a quick setup menu we got to by swiping down, remember? And you can change the watch faces to different ones that are installed by making sure it's active. It's not active now. You turn it on so you light the screen up. Then you can press and hold, and when you do, if you get it just right, then you can switch to the different installed watch faces that way. Or you can do it through the app as we showed you in the other reviews. How you customize it. Okay, connecting with the mobile phone via Bluetooth. and the basic charging information. Okay. Oh, wait. You got to connect to a PC. That's how you can get the music into your watch. This is some basic info on how to do that with a PC. Here's what you need: Android File Manager if you're going to connect with a Mac to move your music in, how you copy files, where they're stored. When you update the watch, checking for updates, do that regularly because they tend to do firmware updates. Amazfit does on their products quite regularly, and it's always good to have the latest version. How you connect to a Bluetooth headset, the different widgets that you've got, and you can change the order that they're in. There's non-adjustable ones, then there's adjustable ones, and then there's ones you can just hide if you like to. Displaying and closing all of these widgets and your overall workout record information. Heart rate. Okay, you can do the single heart rate or the continuous mode, and this explains how they work differently. You like my roosters? I don't know if you can hear them in the background, but yeah, it's spring. Haha. Distribution of heart rate intervals. There's what it gauges for age, and the number minus the age will put you in the percentage, which is considered those zones. So it's primarily looking for your age, I guess, when it's calculating your heart rate zone. Alarms, music, sleep. Your sleep time looks like this. It shows you on the screen when you had deep sleep or were awake. And other apps. Okay, there's some other apps, I guess. Stopwatch, timer, compass that you find on your watch. How it handles messages when you get them. Music remote control here for controlling the music on your phone, I believe. The caller ID information can come in, daily maintenance and so forth, cleaning and whatnot. Okay, that is it for the Amazfit Stratos deep dive into the data sections of what you can do here. Again, when you use a sport, it's going to pop up here as one of the top two. So if you frequently climb and cycle, you don't have to scroll down for them all the time. You can get them right there on the screen. And your daily total overview and your activities. So once again, you can get this watch from GearBest. Check the show notes down below for a buying link. They supplied it to us for this review, and they're rather pricey, so we like to make sure that we let you know that we appreciate it if you can buy from our sponsors, if at all possible. And let you know you've been watching Smartwatch Ticks. We're a channel dedicated to a whole variety of smartwatches. If you haven't explored us, please do. If you haven't subscribed, really please do, because having a whole bunch of subscribers is music to the vendors. So we get really cool watches every time you subscribe, and if you remain a subscriber for us. And we will see you again with more great stuff. This is, again, the Amazfit Stratos English version, deep dive into the data functions on its transflective screen. See you again soon. And now, something fun to just zen with. Here is the Amazfit Stratos booting up. This is what you see when you turn it on. Makes you kind of want to do this in line at Starbucks, doesn't it? Yeah, what a fun watch.